This series is organized into several skill groups, each with their own set of learning activities. Both the skill groups and learning activities are progressive, meaning that skill groups further on in this series and activities further on in their skill groups are more difficult than those that come before. Therefore, these videos represent a progressive system of learning where players are challenged appropriately, and new skills build upon previously learned ones. If you are just starting out, begin with Skill Group 1, Activity 1. Each time you practice, begin with the earliest listed activity that your child has not yet mastered. Players move on to the next activity during a practice session by beating the parent in a no-add or first to 4-point game. Each activity has its own criteria that players need to meet in order to score a point. For example, in Activity 1.1, if the player catches the ball successfully, they score a point. If the player catches 4 balls without first failing to catch 4 balls, they win the game and will move on to Activity 1.2 in that practice session. Each day the player successfully completes an activity, the parent marks it on the table linked below. If the player beats the parent without the parent scoring a point, the parent also marks the perfect box. Players see how far they can progress through the activity list during each practice. During the next practice, players again begin at the earliest listed activity that they have not yet mastered. That is, during a player's second practice, they would start at 1.1 again. Once a player has successfully completed an activity during 5 different practice sessions, they have mastered that activity and skip it in future practices. For example, once a player has mastered 1.1, they would start future practices with Activity 1.2. If an activity is very easy for a player, use the progressions listed to make the activity more difficult. If the player finishes all the activities in a skill group during a practice, it's alright to move on to the next one.